Barack Obama got reelected with not just big electoral college margins, but also with majority wins in the popular vote. Twice. The guy who predicted this outcome almost exactly is Nate Silver, of course, who writes the political statistics blog 538 at the New York Times. For accurately predicting, it appears, the exact outcome of the race, and I mean down to every single state. We'll see about Florida. Nate was, of course, pilloried on the right and by right-leaning Beltway media types, including Politico.com, for having the audacity to print what his poll averages told him was about to happen. But Nate was right. The polls were right. Even without Florida being decided, we now know that President Obama won in pretty much exactly the way the state-by-state polls said he was going to win. He won with more than 300 electoral votes. It was not magic. It was just math. Math that was completely invisible to the political right.
I believe the minimum result will be 53-47 Romney, over 300 electoral votes, and the Republicans will pick up the Senate. I base that on just years and years of experience.
The wild card in what I've projected is I'm projecting Minnesota to go for Romney.
I think Ohioans vote with their wallets. That's why I think Romney's going to win on Tuesday.
Carl, I'm actually with you. Except I think you're more optimistic. I got this Romney 3 points.
I think Ohio is going to be a squeaker, maybe an 80, 100, 110,000 vote margin, but I think the Republicans are likely to take it.
Who's going to win this election? Charles Krauthammer, your best prediction.
Romney, very close, but he'll win the popular by, I think, about half a point. Electoral college, probably a very narrow margin.
It will be the biggest surprise in recent American political history. It will rekindle a whole question as to why the media played this race as a nail-biter, where, in fact, I think Romney is going to win by quite a bit.
I am now predicting a 330 electoral vote landslide. Yes, that's right. 330 electoral votes.
Yes, that's right. No, that's not. Wrong. But Republicans and conservatives plainly really believed this stuff. I mean, they were talking each other into it a little bit, but it's not like they were faking it. They were so sure they would win. They were so sure that these polls must be wrong and that they must be right. And when the real math of the real world came barreling out of the dark at them last night, they hid from it. They could not believe it.
Fox News can now project that President Obama will win the crucial battleground state of Ohio.
That's the one we've all been waiting for. And there's a question now about, what does that mean, panel? I mean, does that mean that
that's the presidency?
Do you believe that Ohio has been settled?
No, I don't. I got the director of the Ohio campaign for Romney on the other end of the line, refreshing the page every few seconds. I think this is premature. We got to be careful about calling things when we have like 991 votes separating the two candidates and a quarter of the vote yet to count.
Well, folks,
thanks.
So maybe not so fast.
Here's what we're going to do. Karl Rove said that we should figure out what the deal is with this decision desk. The decision desk is in a different place. Megan, I will escort you down the steps here so you can go interview them.
All right.
Watch your step.
Thank you. I don't want to fall
there you go.
in front of all these millions of people.
Okay. Megan is going to go to the decision desk and interview them.
They're way down the hall. So we'll do a little interrogation and see if they stand by their call. This is the decision desk. Now we're in the heart of the decision desk room. You tell me whether you stand by your call on Ohio, given the doubts Karl Rove just raised.
We're actually quite comfortable with the call in Ohio.
What do you make of it, Chris?
There just aren't enough Republican votes left.
Percent certainty.
99.95%.
Okay. All right. Well, there you have it.
Okay, Megan. I've just called Karl back up from and he's coming up here to the desk. He's crunching numbers. He's writing furiously. He's pointing at Bill Hemmer. A lot of things are going on right now.
All I'm saying is that, look, we've had one instance where something was prematurely called. That seems to me to be a very early call.
The folks at Obama headquarters in Chicago, they're not listening to Karl. They don't care about what Karl said.
Ohio really did go to President Obama last night, and he really did win. And he really was born in Hawaii. And he really is legitimately President of the United States, again. And the Bureau of Labor Statistics did not make up a fake unemployment rate last month. And the Congressional Research Service really can find no evidence that cutting taxes on rich people grows the economy. And the polls were not skewed to oversampled Democrats. And Nate Silver was not making up fake projections about the election to make conservatives feel bad. Nate Silver was doing math. And climate change is real. And rape really does cause pregnancy sometimes. And evolution is a thing. And Benghazi was an attack on us. It was not a scandal by us. And nobody is taking away anyone's guns. And taxes have not gone up. And the deficit is dropping, actually. And Saddam Hussein did not have weapons of mass destruction. And the moon landing was real. And FEMA is not building concentration camps. And UN election observers are not taking over Texas. And moderate reforms of the regulations on the insurance industry and the financial services industry in this country are not the same thing as communism. Listen. Last night was a good night for liberals and for Democrats for very obvious reasons. But it was also possibly a good night for this country as a whole. Because in this country, we have a two-party system in government. And the idea is supposed to be that the two sides both come up with ways to confront and fix the real problems facing our country. They both propose possible solutions to our real problems. And we debate between those possible solutions. And by the process of debate, we pick the best idea. That competition between good ideas from both sides about real problems in the real country should result in our country having better choices, better options than if only one side is really working on the hard stuff. And if the Republican Party and the conservative movement and the conservative media is stuck in a vacuum-sealed, door-locked spin cycle of telling each other what makes them feel good and denying the factual lived truth of the world, then we are all deprived as a nation of the constructive debate between competing, feasible ideas about real problems. Last night, the Republicans got shellacked, and they had no idea it was coming. And we saw them in real time, in a real humiliating time, not believe it even as it was happening to them. And unless they are going to secede, they are going to have to pop the factual bubble they have been so happy living inside if they do not want to get shellacked again. And that will be a painful process for them, I'm sure, but it will be good for the whole country, left, right, and center. You guys, we're counting on you. Wake up. There's real problems in the world. There are real knowable facts in the world. Let's accept those and talk about how we might approach our problems differently. Let's move on from there. If the Republican Party and the conservative movement and conservative media are forced to do that by the humiliation they were dealt last night, we will all be better off as a nation. And in that spirit, congratulations, everybody. Big night.